It's Monday. Definitely felt like a Monday. It's a long day. A lot of things going on. Um, Monday, August 8th. Thanks for stepping in to watch. A lot of stuff to cover. What's going on with the market, rates, where we're going on with rates, and all that other stuff. We're talking about Open Door deal of the day. Open Door made some news over the weekend or last week and over the weekend. And we're talking about a little bit of what's going on with supply and demand and all sorts of different things to unpackage. So let's see. What else can we talk about? Oh, we're going to talk about equilibrium, how that's affecting the market. But, if you know, you should know. We're also going to talk about air conditioning. It's been, uncomfortably warm, seasonably warm. Not like, oh my God, it's going to die, but it's been a little warm. So we're going to talk about, should you buy air conditioning or not? And if we have time, we'll talk about tipping points and stuff like that. So let's get started. Dinky, dinky, dink. Oh, are home buyers on the fence? Yes. I mean, if I were to put a number on it, I would say 90 to 95% of the buyers that were out there in March and April are on the fence. There's about 5% of them that are still actively looking. They're still kind of playing around. They're still trying to figure things out. But yeah, buyers for the most part, just kind of seeing where the market is going because they believe. And I think it's lack of confidence in the market and the economy and, our policymakers, trying to figure out which way that's going to go and if it's going to continue to go. That's a big, huge thing, right? So supply and demand. Every Wednesday, we go on and talk about supply and demand, not only in San Jose, Santa Clara, but also all across the United States, seeing where different pockets, different metropolitan areas are seeing increases in supply. And I can tell you right now, there's a lot of people talking about Las Vegas. Demand has crashed like 40%. Like as in the numbers have dwindled down, and we're going to dig a little bit deeper on Wednesday. If you want to join us, there you go. All right. Is the market going to crash in 22? Yeah. We don't know. I mean, for my home sellers, it would suck. For my homeowners that just got in, it would suck. But, for the rest of the world, at least, they can buy a house. It's so crazy unaffordable for so many people to not be able to buy a house. It's not, I want to say it's not fair, but you know what? That's capitalism. That's what we're here to do. But it's been out of balance for so long. We're going to go into equilibrium a little bit. It's been so out of balance, such a seller's market for so long that it crept into every other nook and cranny in the United States. And now those buyers and sellers are having the same problems. And it started happening here in the Bay Area, and then it started happening in New York and then LA, and then it just kind of kept on creeping. And over the pandemic, people are like, screw that, I'm going to go move to Podunk, Idaho, or Ohio, or wherever, and they can, telecommute. I get it. I totally get it. I mean, I want to do it just to, have a different place to go to, right? But we're still here. My daughters are sophomore this year. They start school tomorrow. 3 more years, and then I am going to be an empty nester. Open door deal of the day. Open door deal of the day. So I want you to stand by. There's 2 pieces of news. We already announced one last week. But there's another piece of news. I'm sure you already know since, most of you watch TikTok and everybody's talking about it. So, but here's the thing, guys. If you're in the market, you want a good deal. These are the first ones to fall over. Almost $400,000 off the tick mark. And yeah, so let me show you real quick. They bought it just in April. So this wouldn't even qualify for an FHA. May, June, July. Oh no, I think 3 months. I don't know, 6 months. If it's FHA, you can't. Well, actually, it's a jumbo, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, negative $380,000. They bought it for $2.18 million. They listed it. And when I found it, it was on market for 5 days for 1.888, hoping to get it a steal. Now it's listed for 1.8 million, which is -3. That's an awesome deal. And I can almost guarantee you that if we go in another $100,000 less. Piss off the neighbors, piss off Open Door. But you know what? I'm not there to serve them. I'm there to serve you. Last week, same thing in Santa Clara. Brand new house. Brand spanking new house. Maybe a couple years old. $367,000. I bet you can get that for 1.7 and change. Yeah, so the deals are out there and buyers are seeing that and buyers are still buying. Is this a good time to buy or sell? Is it going to crash? I don't know if the market's going to crash, and even if it does here, deals like that are the ones that you can take advantage of. Those are the ones you can go to your friends and brag about. Because once the market starts collapsing, then investors enter the market again. More buyers, that 95% of the buyers that are sitting on the fence, they jump back in and then they start buying, right? Remember the aggravation of what was going on with the buyers. They wrote 17, 18, 20 homes or offers on homes, and they were competing about 17, 18 offers. There were 17 other buyers for that one home. And whoever went the highest got the bid. And sometimes it was $400,000, $500,000 over. You don't have to do that today. So you actually have a little bit of leeway. The equilibrium is tossed back into the buyer for right now, not in every market. Because I can tell you, you go up to the Los Gatos Mountains, you go to Los Gatos, you go to Cupertino, houses are still selling fantastically well. Down in Morgan Hill, Gilroy, those areas, South San, well, most of San Jose, you're seeing houses kind of sit and stall on the market. And that's normal. That's good. We want that to happen. We want that to happen to the entire Bay Area so that buyers have a chance to enter the market again. Right now, buyers are just sitting there. The ones that are buying houses in Cupertino, they can write a check for $3, $5, $10 million. They don't have to worry about that. That's the haves. That's the top 10% of the industry, right? Or the market, right? The economy. Blue collar, white collar workers, they can't afford to write a $3 million check cash. Saw it. I'm seeing it happening all the time. So there's two different types of sellers right now. And the regular market, the regular people's market, like right here, we're seeing houses that people just want to sell and people need to sell. People that are understanding that the market, you're not going to get April's numbers today. You're just not. And you know what? That's a regular story all the way through since the beginning of, the last 20 years that I've been selling houses. During the summer, it slows down. It's a normal thing. So if you didn't sell your house in June, end of May, early June, your house is going to sit on market. You're probably going to have to contract a little bit. And that's ebb and flow. That's totally normal. During the pandemic, market didn't slow down. It continued to go up. Hockey puck fashion or hockey stick fashion. That's crazy high. We need to see this kind of go down right now. So those that need to sell, those are the ones that are over leveraged or they just bought a house, kind of like the Open Door guys with those ones that they over leveraged. They overbought, they overpaid, they're panicking. They're like, I can't afford to do this for 10 years. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do, $10,000, $15,000 a month for the rest of my, for the next 10 years. That's crazy. There's no possible way I'm going to do it. So a little bit of panic might be setting in. I'm not saying everybody, but it only takes 2-3 people, 2-3% of the local market to start a downfall. lost a job. Layoffs are coming. I've been talking about that for months now. I feel like I'm just like, hey, the sky's falling. I know they just announced 528,000 jobs, but those are $20 an hour jobs, most of them, right? They're not manufacturing. We need to, where I will be impressed is when we start seeing 500,000, 750,000 jobs in manufacturing come back to the United States. Then I'll be impressed. But you tell me you got an Amazon job fulfilling orders, that's $20 an hour, maybe $25 an hour, right? And I know that's nothing to sneeze at, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, when somebody at Burger King's making $18 an hour here in San Jose, you still can't buy a house with that, right? So, where am I? I'm going the wrong way. Inheritance, they need to sell. That's kind of I just don't want to deal with it. That's a great time for people to, and that happens all the time. That is regardless of the economy. People pass away, right? Airbnb fails. We don't see a whole lot of that here in San Jose and Silicon Valley. You might see it around Apple, around Levi Stadium, right? Because people will come there for the games, and I get that. But at the same time, Airbnb is making it really difficult for hosts right now. I jump on a lot of groups, and I'm seeing pain and suffering. Airbnb, they do not care about their hosts unless they're like completely dialed in. But I see a lot of people having trouble right now, and a lot of them are going to be giving up, especially now when the economy gets a little tougher. Airbnbs are going to fail. They need to get out of those. And that's going to be a huge part. I spoke about that a while back, but think about it, right? Let's say that the natural supply, the natural equilibrium for Airbnb in any destination is 1,000. Well, everybody and their grandma is a guru on how to do Airbnb investing and arbitrage and all this other stuff. And then they tell people to go and buy houses thinking that they're going to make, $2,000-$3,000 a month on every house that they buy, and even more, which, you could if the supply and demand were equalized. But right now, if a natural equilibrium of supply would be 1,000 homes, or they call them beds, 1,000 beds per month or week or whatever have it, and now there's 3,000 homes available. Well, 1/3 of those people are starving. So those Airbnb people are going to be jumping out of the business really quick. There's just a whole lot of stuff that's happening with that. They're not making the money that they thought. They're prolonging it. The smart ones are getting out right now and either selling it or getting into long-term rentals, which is absolutely fine and smart just to stave off the pain. Right? But there's going to be a small portion of those people that have their head in the sand, and they're just going to ignore it until the problem's too late. And then we're going to have a problem, and we're going to have oversupply of homes for sale and it's continuing to go. All right. NODs, those are called notice of defaults. Those are pre-foreclosures. Those are starting to jump up. And I already told you that, they went up 1,400% since the pandemic. Well, that really doesn't mean anything when you look at the sheer landslide of homes that went up on foreclosure in 2008, 2009, all the way to 2012. There was a huge shadow inventory, and that slowed down until about 15, 16, and then we've been kind of very low level. But NODs are up for sure. Pre-foreclosures are up. So those will eventually flip into bank-owned properties. That will take a lot longer because there's more laws and protections in place for the consumers, keeping the banks away from taking those back. So NODs, once you find out when it's an NOD or a pre-foreclosure, those people need to sell, right? So yeah, they're going to be in the driver's seat, and they're going to have to come to reality that, you know what, I need to sell this house. I'm not going to make any money out of it. We looked at a house in Morgan Hill this weekend, and I was telling the listing agent, hey, you're on NOD. You're going to have to short sell this house because my buyers need this price in order to buy it because your house is a piece of crap. I didn't say it like that, but I'm giving you the inside knowledge here. So if you have a house that's worth, let's say, 1.5, and you need $250,000 to make it livable, solid, right? And the house is listed for 1.6, and the bank tells you that you owe 1.2, and it's a notice of default. Well, guess what? You kind of have to present all offers not only to the seller but also to the bank. So there you go. The bank has to decide if they're going to take a loss on it, not the seller. And when a market's contracting like it is right now, and the house has been on market for over 100 days, yeah, you got to kind of start working and opening up your mind to everything. Now, they might be thinking that they're in the want to sell and they think the house is still worth what it was back in April of 2022. And then that's not what's going to happen. Is that guy's going to get frustrated. He's going to take it off the market, and then the bank's eventually going to take it over. Or maybe some great uncle will come and save the day and take him, make the bank whole and make it so that he doesn't have to worry about it. Probably not, though. Probably going to go to auction at one time. That seller likes to listen to the agent. They price it to sell it. They understand that the market's contracting right now. The seller and the agents don't decide on what the house will sell. It's the buyer. And when there's 17 offers, 25 offers on the table, one guy's going to say, I'm going to spend $200,000-$300,000 over because I'm done playing this game. I just want to buy the damn thing, make my wife happy, or make my husband happy, whatever, and it's done. When there's one offer on the table, that means the buyer's in control. It's not a buyer's market yet, not for certain, for sure. But as a buyer, you have the right to ask for concessions, longer contingency periods. You can ask for repairs. You can ask for further investigation. You can ask for closing costs. You can ask for points to close, to lower your rate. You can do all sorts of stuff. You can get really creative because you're in the driver's seat now. Especially if a house has been on market 30, 40, 50 days, it's better to not lower the price, but give those concessions because it helps stabilize the market. But also, if you ask for 3 points to lower your rate down to 4%, I don't know, I'm just guessing 4% or 4.5%, then you're saving money too. Now, the buyers or the sellers that want to sell, their attitude is, my house is worth what it was in 2022, April 2022. Now, ebb and flow, right? And we just missed the market, right? I sold 3 houses in that 1 month time frame, and those people were so grateful because they saw what was happening. They're like, get this house from underneath me. I have another house that we're closing next week, and we missed the boat, and we paid for it dearly. So that kind of thing, you have to keep your eye open. And the longer you have your head in the sand, the worse it's going to be for you on selling your house. If you listen to your agent, especially one that's been around for a while, they're going to help you navigate through this thing. All right. I got this thing on a second. I got this fun thing real quick. It's only 7 seconds. Don't shut off. That was so dumb. Should you buy AC? Now, yes, you should. This is something I'm going to have as a shorter video, so you don't have to listen to me. You can fast forward. So anyway, should you buy AC? Yes. You can take any random zip code in pretty much the United States, but I can't really speak to that. I can tell you what's going on here in the Silicon Valley, Santa Clara County, San Jose. I live in San Jose. every couple of years, I do a survey on houses that sell within a 1 year range. The last time I did it was a couple of years ago, and I did it for Almaden Valley, Blossom Valley, and Santa Teresa. So 3 areas. And I did a stretch of homes that sold with and without cooling. Okay. I didn't look at age. I didn't look at size. I didn't look at anything else other than the fact that it had cooling or it did not have cooling. And the difference then, again, across 3 areas, not multiple zip codes, was the difference was, and this was 2 years ago, so it was $90,000 difference. So it's a huge difference. I just did one for 95132 because I might be selling a house in that area, and wouldn't you know, it doesn't have, sorry, I'm clicking on the wrong screen. Wouldn't you know, it doesn't have air conditioning. So I said, I'm not telling you to do it, but I'm recommending it, and I'll show you why you should put air conditioning in your house, in that house that you're going to sell. Now, within the last year, there were 74 homes that sold in that zip code, 95132. Single family homes. I didn't look at age. I didn't look at condition. I didn't look at room count. I just did a basic separation of homes with and without cooling. And these homes right here that you're looking at, 25 of them sold without. So roughly a third of them sold without air conditioning. And that's a big number for a house without air conditioning. That's crazy, $2.3 million. But that's the market, right? On average, it sold for just under 1.5. On average, it's very important. So you look at the age, the average age is about 50, 51, and the days on market is about 8 to 7 days. Okay, so let's go back and take a look at this. These are houses with air conditioning. 49 houses. So again, 2/3 versus the third. It's pretty easy math because even I can do that in my head. You'll notice that the max sold price was actually less for homes sold with cooling by $30,000. But we're not talking about the top. We're not looking at condition. We're not looking at size or age or room count or what have you. We're looking at averages. 1.61 versus 1.5. It's $166,000 difference. Let me get rid of that for you. 166,000 and change. Now you're thinking, Vito, you're out of your mind. There's no way the ROI on an air conditioner is going to be $160,000. You're absolutely right. I'm not saying that. I'm absolutely not saying that. And I'm not selling air conditioners. I'm not an air conditioner sales guy. But I'm telling you straight up, when you go to sell a house, it's expected that you have air conditioning in it, or else you can make that correlation right there without me having to finish that sentence, right? And now let's take it a step further. And this is to the older people that have lived in their houses for 40, 50, 60 years without air conditioning. I don't need it. Why would I put money into it? I would never use it. I only use it 2-3 times a year. Why would I do that? Because back in the 90s, air conditioning in cars became a standard item. Yes, they showed that you charged it and was actually added to it. But it's a standard thing. You cannot find a car without air conditioning today. You cannot. And I'm almost going to guarantee, I can't guarantee, 99.999% sure that every house that's brand new that gets built today has air conditioning in it, unless you're in like Hollister or somewhere else. I'm just talking about San Jose, Silicon Valley, Santa Clara. Okay. It's expected. It's kind of like trying to sell a car without wheels. It's kind of like selling shoes without shoelaces. Trying to sell a beer without cold. How else do I tell you this? Get the goddamn air conditioning. And let's take it even a step further here. Again, trying to sell you on air conditioning, then I make nothing out of it. Okay, let's just say that you only get 10% of that number right there. Let's just say that these numbers are so fantastic and so stupid and so unrealistic that maybe, just maybe, you can get maybe 10% of that. Well, that's $16,000. And guess how much air conditioning costs? Now, I'm not talking about 17,000 square foot homes. I'm talking about the standard home. It's about $10,000 to $15,000. So right away, you do have a little plus equity in there, but that's really not the point. The point is you get utility value out of it. You get utility value out of air conditioning because guess what? When it gets hot, you flip on the switch and it cools down the house and you get to enjoy it. And when you sell it, let's just say you only make 10% off of that. You're equal out. You get the money back. So what are you waiting for? Now, I'm going to tell you straight up, don't do it in the middle of summer. Don't do it on a heat wave. Don't do it with the inflation. Take your time, figure it out, get some pricing. Maybe the market crashes and then you can do it. But there you go. Do it. Get yourself some freaking air conditioning. Okay, enough of my thing. I have my air conditioning going right now. I have it set to 78, and I also have a video that is being finished up, and I thought it was finished and queued up, but it's not. I'm gonna have to check on my guys. I have another one about how you can save money when using your air conditioning. Right there. Right there. Okay. We talked about tipping points multiple times. It's the Hakuna Matata of what's happening now. We're living in a house of cards, and I don't know how else to tell you this, but Vito, the economy is going well. We just announced all these jobs and rates are coming down. Well, I think it's because we don't really know what's going on. We're being handed a bill of goods, and I know you know that I don't sit on any side of the politics. This is really what I'm seeing from, I want to say agnostic, zero political pull. It's an election year. They're going to bolster the numbers and tell you that it's right. And I'm not saying they're right or they're wrong. They're both wrong. Okay. I don't have a really smiley face when it comes to any politician. Housing, we've already gone through this before with this whole thing that need to sell and the buy it, want to sell. Those that want to sell, they're eventually going to take it off market. They're just kind of like the cobwebs as you walk through a haunted house, right? They're annoying, right? You really want to find the hidden gems and all that. You're going to find those houses that need to sell, and a good agent's going to find those for you. I know how to find them. It's not that hard. I'm not going to get you a house that I'm not going to put you up on a house and say, hey, we got to get this house. You should pay the seller a little bit more money. Not today. There's going to be people that are over leveraged. There's going to be investors that are over leveraged. There's going to be investors that want to get out of the market. And they're like, you know what? I don't care. I have enough money. I can lose $100,000. That's fine. Just get rid of it. Right? That's good. There's going to be plenty of those people out there. Talked about the automotive and the credit card before. Guys, it's all coming. It's all coming. Energy. How much did you pay for electricity last month? Right? The video of the week is a 10 ways to save on air conditioning, on your air conditioning bill. I'll have it for you by Wednesday, I think. I hope. Other housekeeping, again, we have a home buyer seminar for VA for our veterans at San Jose State at the Veterans Service Organization. I just hired a 5th veteran agent. I'm really excited. My team's building out to be all these amazing veteran people, and I love the fact that I'm giving back to our community with this program. So if you have a chance to look at it, if you're interested in looking at it, or you have a friend that's a veteran that wants to buy a house and wants to learn more about it, let me know. I'll have more information about that, but start getting the word out. Yep, that's it. Oh, yeah. Did I mention subscribe? I have a podcast too. It's the same thing. I just throw it on a podcast in case you don't want to watch me. Not many people want to watch me. I get that. But if you are bored on the way home and you're stuck in traffic, there you go. You might glean some kind of information from my exciting videos or podcasts. And if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. Hit the little bell, and that way you'll be made aware of videos as they come available. All right, that's pathetic. One big, huge thing. This is it. I'm going to let you go. Well, actually, open door trouble, $62 million fine. They just did a deal with Zillow. So, Zillow is kind of like our Darth Vader. He's like the bad guy in Star Wars. He's, they're always trying to screw us over, right? They're like I don't know how to explain it. They're just like the bad guy. They're always trying to screw us over. Another thing, in case you ever click on it, say, I want to talk to an agent, next thing you know, you're going to get like 7 to 8 phone calls because they don't sell leads to just one agent. They sell them to as many people as they can. And they charge $200, $300, $400 per lead to the agent. It's kind of stupid. And if you're an agent, you're buying Zillow, shame on you. But there you go. Realtor does it. All these other places, they do it. This is the same idea, is that they have a great user experience, and then they entice you to say, yes, I want to go see this house. And you just push a button, and then all of a sudden you get bombarded by everybody. And it's not just realtors, you get lenders, you get everybody. Do you need a loan? My name's Johnny, you need a loan? Just don't do that. And here's the other thing too, guys. Open Door just got a $62 million fine from the FTC. Is it FTC? Yeah, for deceptive practices. They're telling you, hey, your house is worth $100,000. Let us take it off your hands for $100,000, where they're not actually putting it up on the market and seeing if it's worth 100 or 120 or 130. We're just going to take it from you. We'll take it from you. No commissions, right? But at the end of the day, they're like, oh, don't worry about the 7 to 10% fee. They're just convenience fees. Don't worry about that. And I don't know exactly how it goes, but that's kind of like how it goes. So it's very deceptive. They're saying you don't need an agent. And you know what? If you want to try it, try it. Not saying not to. I'm saying buyer beware, right? It's all about knowing what you're getting into. So they're doing these deceptive practices that the FTC is finding them for. And all of a sudden, Zillow and Open Door are doing this handshake saying, hey, we were going to do business together. Kind of lost confidence in Zillow altogether a while ago because they're already trying to do the whole Open Door iBuyer platform, and then they got out of it. They lost $400 million or something like that. And by the way, I don't know if you noticed this or not. Just in the 106 homes that I happen to find that Open Door owns, they're now losing over $4.25 million in value for their stockholders. So somebody's got to answer to that. And I think the CEO should answer up to the stockholders as to why. And this is 106 of the houses sold in the Santa Clara County, or the Bay Area, right? This is just the Bay Area, not the entire United States. I'm going to tell you that there's, 30,000 homes like this. How much money are they truly losing for their stakeholders and stockholders? So I think Open Door's in a little bit of trouble. It's probably going to be some kind of leverage buyout from Zillow. And, I can see how it was done, 6 months ago. This whole backdoor deal was done 6-7 months ago. But this fine is going to be a huge problem for Zillow and Open Door. So just be careful of that. Caliber Home Loans is being absorbed by another company. And then Sanjeev, who's the CEO, stepped down, probably with a golden parachute. I'm not saying this is a bad thing here. Probably not, because this is probably something that happened saying, well, we need one CEO. We don't need two. And Sanjeev is probably like, hey, you know what? Give me my bonus and my parachute. I'm out. Peace out. I'll go work somewhere else. And he's probably going to walk away with a couple $100 million in his pocket, right? Good for him. But at the behest or the beheading of 386 of his former employees. Again, that's not a bad thing. When there's mergers that happen, that's a standard thing. That's not, oh my God, that's news, blah. It's just kind of, but it's sad, right? Starwood Capital. It's another investment firm. They're selling $1 billion worth of single-family homes. Just like Open Door is selling half their inventory. So is Starwood. So is BlackRock, or maybe BlackRock. I'm not sure. But I don't even know how this is going to happen. They're probably going to sell it off to another hedge fund, investment firm, something like that. Just because they're like, I'm just not going to, I probably overpaid for a whole bunch of them. And whoever buys it is going to get screwed as long as I get away from this toxic acid. My God, maybe I've been talking too long. Toxic asset. If I get rid of it, so be it. And then, 3 years down the road, BlackRock or whoever, Vanguard buys it, and now they're holding the bag, right? That's the big one. That was the big story, guys. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it because it's unfolding as we speak. Wednesday, we're going to be on it. Walmart laid people off. Again, 200 is not enough to really make any noise. 46 million homeowners or households changed zip codes in the last 12 months. That's talking about velocity. So when you see the market contracting, it's probably because everybody's already made their move, right? And now those that really couldn't or shouldn't have bought a house, or the ones that are sitting on the sidelines, they're like, I don't know what to do. And that's probably part of it. And then office space down 22% in transaction. That's because everybody's working from home, guys. That's a normal thing. And I can almost bet you most of these cities, what's going to happen is they're going to start selling these major commercial office buildings and retrofitting them into tiny homes or smaller apartments or something, because they have all this empty space. We have all these homeless people. Why not restructure it? Cities, there's your freebie for the day. Oh yeah, another reason why you want to sit down and talk to me or listen to me jabber next week or this Wednesday is CPI announcements coming. This is going to be, unless it's, I have a guess that this is going to be a very bad announcement. It's going to be very bad for us, very bad. I think it's telling though, because, back in, I don't know, a year ago, we were spending about $5 on chicken. Now we're spending $15 on chicken, and we're spending $5 on gas, even though it went down 80 cents. A year, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, we were spending, it was like $4. So, I don't know how many Americans think, oh, that's good. They dropped the price 80 cents per gallon. It's just like, come on. Americans are not that stupid. I hope. I really hope. All right, that's it. Next week next Wednesday, we're going to be talking about the numbers. The number nerd comes out. All right, I'm Vito Skarnecki with the Apatano Group, powered by Compass. Thanks for watching. It's been 40 minutes. Have yourself a great rest of the week. I'm going to do this one. Hang on.